Funny thing is that in the very beginning when I post a voting for you guys to vote for what is the first thing that you want to farm when the Wisp Prime had released, initially people will want to farm Wisp Prime as soon as they can, but later on most people change that they want to get the Fulmin Prime first. This quite shocked me a lot because I know that people want to get Wisp, but I didn't know that Fulmin can also become quite popular. Well, I guess it's because this weapon is very good to use. And this is true because in the very early days, I'm still as a beginner. I also use Fulmin a lot, and until right now, no such weapon can still surpass my high usage of the Fulmin. Wow, I didn't know that in the past I can use this so good. But this raised the question that how good is Fulmin, especially with the Prime version, and how would I build the Fulmin Prime? So without further ado, let's hop right into it. If you check on Fulmin Prime stat, it is overall the total increasement of the normal Fulmin. This is good because this also shows that if you get yourself a normal Fulmin and you think that do you want to sell the normal Fulmin for Fulmin Prime, this is actually quite worth it because of the overall stat increase. So this is not even a problem. The interesting part is that for Fulmin, it has two ways to shoot. The first one is that with the barrels intact, it will shoot a force impact shot that consumes 10 magazines per shot, but in return, it can do a force impact that has a very high damage in there. Because of this is usually will be useful if you want to do a high damage. Otherwise, using the alternate button, you will remove the barrel and it will turn into a fully automatic rifle weapon. This will act just like our normal assault rifle, which can be useful if you want to more focus on the precise headshot. So these two will be very useful, and later on for our build, we not just only focus on one, but the both mode at the same time. So for our build here, we'll be first starting by a build that can work for both the force impact and the full automatic rifle build. So for this build, we'll be having the galvanized chamber and the aptitude, of course for the multi-shot and CO damage. This is obviously a must for almost weapons. And we also have the vital sense and critical delay for both crit chance and critical damage. Interesting part is that for the critical delay, you can have an option to try to change it into point strike. That's because increase in the critical chance, but in exchange for fire rate doesn't hurt for both mode at all. Since for the force impact mode, you still have 2.17 fire rate, which is if let's say we want to run hemorrhage later on, it's still not hurt that much. So decrease in fire rate doesn't really matter that much based on your choice whether you want or not. Prime Bane is also used here because of course for the double dips damage and further multiplier damage, this is also the must. Now for the remaining three musts here, we'll be having Hunter Munitions, Hammer Shot, and finally Stormbringer. This build is trying to more focus on retaining those element status damage, which is why we have the Hunter Munition to get slashed through the crits, Hammer Shot to further increase the crit damage, stale chance doesn't really matter, and Stormbringer try to increase electricity damage and the proc chance. And of course, we have the primary Merciless try to make good use of the damage because Merciless is much better to accumulate the damage. For your excellent slot, you can try to slot in whatever you want, but somehow I found that you can try to slot in either terminal velocity or guided ordnance, basically based on your choice. If you don't want to, you can also leave this slot. Despite this build can work good in both firing mode, but the problem is also quite obvious. They can do the work very well, but not good enough. Which is why the second and the third build will be more focused on the specific part. For the second build we have here, will be more focused on the force impact build. And this time around, I have to mention that the first 5 mods will all be the same. So the only thing that will be changing will be the arcane, excellent slot, and the last 3 mod slot here. For the force impact shot build, the one that you want to change is the last 3 mod slot by changing it into Eternal Bleeding and the viral mods. Of course, because of the mod capacity problem, I cannot run with the high viral damage that I can, but that's okay. Based on your mod capacity problem, whether can you fit it all or not. But the most important part is that we need to use the Internal Bleeding. Because the fire rate is at 2.17, which is still inside the acceptable range of the Internal Bleeding. So even if you run the point strike, it's okay. But if you want extra crit chance, it is also doable. So the main part is that we want to make good use of the force impact to create a virus slash build. And because of this, we're still using the primary Merciless and not Deadhead. Because I found that the status damage can manage to steal the kill before you manage to do the headshot kill. Which is why for the kill stack through the status damage, it is much better to use the Merciless rather than the Deadhead. And the X slot still using terminal velocity because it can increase the fall range, since for the impact shot it does dissipate through the range. So I really think that this is by far what you can do. And for our last build, which is the full automatic rifle mode, we're trying to change the arcane into deadhead, because this time around we need to make good use of the extra damage on the headshot, since for fully automatic firing mode we also try to headshot the enemies as much as we could. And the X slot will be changing into guided ordnance, though I'm not sure whether it is really necessary or not, so based on your choice. The last 3 slots here will be of course changing again, but this time around we'll be using the galvanized scope, Vial Acceleration, and of course the Toxin mod. The funny thing here is like this, because we'll be trying to headshot the enemies, but like I mentioned in the last build just now, we do not want the status damage to take over the kill when we want to do the headshot kill, which is why for electricity it is much better to turn it into an element that don't do status damage. And this time around we try to change it into corrosive. I think it is okay because most of the enemies got the armor on it, so using corrosive would be much better. And most importantly, Vial Acceleration try to increase the fire rate. Since we know that Fulmin is using a battery and not magazines, so high fire rate still not hurt too much. And I want to use Prime Strat, though the mod capacity problem again, so I cannot use it. Still, very based on your choice whether can use sliding or not. And there you have it. Fulmin is a very fun weapon to use, and I really remember that in the early day when I don't have any good weapons, I remember one of the players mentioned that you can try to get weapons through market. That's right. In the very early days, I don't even know that I can get some weapons blueprints through the market. Don't ask me why. I'm a beginner at that time, so of course I do not know. But this is also a fun memories because I can say that Fulmin is really good weapon. Because it's a good weapon, I will expect that I will use a lot. But because I know that I use Fulmin for quite a long time, so I may want to put this in my inventory for now. Because I still have a lot of weapons to try for myself, and do apologize. But for me, I really want to try something new. Maybe you like meta weapons or these strong weapons, that's your choice. I don't have problems with it. In fact, I'm very fun enjoying and sharing all these thoughts with all of you. If this is your first time watching, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out any news contents from me. Why not leave your comments down below if you got any ideas or thoughts you want to share with all of us. And that's it from me, and as always, I will see you all next time. Bye bye!